How to develop a female voice once more. Hello all, Lauren Riley here. I know that I've made this video several times, I understand that, but guess what? Now this is going to be the highest quality video on the topic, at least that I've made. And I'm going to teach you all how to develop a female voice. Maybe some of you when they're in the middle of your transition and you're like, oh, well, I still sound like my old self. And when I talk, the truck driver really comes out. I got to look down once I open my mouth, and people look at me funny. It's like, well, okay. Here's the thing: you don't need to pay a coach to do all this stuff. I had one session with the coach, and that was it. She was just like, "You already got the basics, so just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll get there over time." You don't need any surgeries for any of this to develop a female voice. Yes, it's going to take you more than about a month or 2 months or 3 months to get everything down. So if you're not in it for the long haul as far as developing your voice is concerned, then just click the video off now. This isn't for you. The female voice, developing that takes practice. It takes some time. It's not even that hard to do. It's hard to develop in the beginning because of the way your larynx and the way your voice is and the way that you've trained yourself to use it. Once you know everything that there is to know about developing it and your own natural style and your own, what your own personality is, it's not so bad. You're going to need to practice, at least an hour a day, if not more. I get that people have, families, jobs, and extracurricular activities and XYZ. However, if you want to develop a female sounding voice and you're transitioning and you want this for real, then you're going to have to make the time to get it right. And yes, there are different types of voices out there. I can't say, maybe getting it right is the wrong phrase to use, but you know what I'm trying to say here. Okay, the first part is breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing. So what you can do, if you're already a singer, then you probably already know this one. Breathe in through your stomach. Or, breathe in deep through your mouth. You can feel your stomach, move. It kind of feels like a balloon. You can also strengthen your diaphragm by going or instead of straight. I know that I'm not that straight right now, and I have difficulty. Even if you're disabled, you can still do this if you're sitting down. But I guess I should show you all the one thing. Oh, Lauren, but what about your old voice? Well, let's see what my old voice sounds like now, shall we? Anyway, this is my old voice right here. This is kind of what I used to sound like a little bit because it's kind of tired. So the female voice coming back in without me even trying. Let's try that again. Hello. Yeah, I still can't get out of it, can I? Maybe I should have recorded this video in daytime. Either way, this is kind of what my voice used to sound like a little bit. I can only speak at like 140 hertz. I'll get into the hertz a little bit later on in this video. Anyway, this is kind of what it used to sound like a little bit. It's not quite as masculine as it used to, even in the masculine, I guess, pitch. But I just go over the thing now. Male voices are usually between 120, like 113 to 121, and female voices are usually between 196 to 230. The better range for females is because they tend, at least in the olden day, they tend to, really emphasize things by, higher pitches and lower pitches. If for example, if you're from China or you speak Chinese, you're familiar with like pitch and dialect and everything else. I mean, granted, these things have changed over time. Yes, there are monotone women that don't really, speak with enthusiasm. Then again, this is kind of like the old mindset. But it can help to, fluctuate your pitch of your voice and see what's what. Anyway, breathing is the first thing. Pitch is the second thing. So, as I was saying before, men speak between 113 hertz and 121. So basically around an A note. And then, both female and male speak, at an A note. But the female with is pitch-wise is only one octave higher than a male's voice. So you get yourself a tuner. I know that what Andrea James, the queen of doing all this work, has tuners out there, and she tells you how to structure everything, like the that so get the tuner out there, whether it be phone or on PC or whatever it is that you use. And so the crossover pitch between the pitch between male and female voices is about 160 to 168. Don't drop below 175 if possible. When you first start out, you will be coughing a lot because your larynx is not used to that kind of usage with the muscle. So you won't be able to hold that pitch for super long when you first start out. Try getting the pitch between 96 to 230 first before doing anything else. I mean, you can, and you will probably sound like a stereotypical TV gay dude from the 80s and 90s. There's other factors that play into a female voice when I'm going to go over them soon. But what you can do is try doing notes. You don't have to be a professional singer, but the ha sound is important. Ha, ha. You can also try who, he, and a if you want, especially the long A sound, because certain vowel sounds are harder to maintain at a pitch than other ones. So just start from where your male range is and get a tuner and go ha. Play it on the piano if you got one. I know there's like digital keyboards online that you can use. And you can go boom and go ha, ha, ha. And try sliding up and down, going ha, ha, ha. The same with he, he, he. And now we come to the tricky part. So we said that, females talk from their head and males talk from their chest. Somewhat true, somewhat false. Everybody talks from their chest. It's just that females use less of their chest than men. And the trickiest part is the resonance. Resonance is really hard. Resonance because men can talk from the pitch of 200 hertz as well and 196, but they can still sound like guys. And there's something between falsetto and head voice. And it's, falsetto can help you break into this upper, notes that you can't reach. I mean, obviously falsetto is like kind of a false voice, but if you just practice your falsetto, you kind of expand your range that way too. So you can sit there and go like this. Do it. Woohoo! Kind of like almost like your Mario or Charles Martinet. But you know what I'm saying, Mickey Mouse. Nonetheless, and how you get the head voice, and don't make any sound. So when you first start, it's like by tightening up your throat. That is where most people that try, do their voice, we practice their voice where they fall apart because they can't speak very loud. They're like, "Hello, my name is Mallory, and I can't talk." And they're afraid to use their full voice to actually talk. They're kind of whispery, and they're afraid of dropping. That's why they sound like the way they do, or sound the way they do, because they're too afraid of dropping. Especially when you're like, age. Hello, my name is Lauren Riley, and I'm 25 years of age. That's what they're afraid of right there. I'm actually 34, but still, when I first started, I was like, "Hello, my name is Lauren Riley." It wasn't this good, by the way. But when I first started, I was like, "Hello, my name is Lauren Riley, and I'm 25 years of age." And that's how I would sound. I didn't know how to, with the pitch wise, the resonance wise, you would do it with the long A, and then all the points I practiced it a good bit, then it became natural. But I can't believe it's been 9 years since I've actually practiced all this stuff, since I started my voice. Wow, 9 years. Anyway, what you want to do is, what I did is breathe through your nose and my mouth at the same time. You don't have to really breathe through your nose. I just did it that way just to help tighten up my throat. What you want to do is put your hand, or one of your hands, at the base of the throat. Breathe normally through your mouth alone at first. Not just breathe through your nose second. Now breathe through your nose and your mouth. As you can see right here, I tighten up my throat. You see it? Or you can just try breathing through your nose until you kind of like you've got a cold and you're like, "Would I really try to breathe in your snot or something?" Go. You see the little crease in there where the bone is? You want to tighten up your throat, and then that's how you get the resonance, by tightening up the base of your throat right here. But don't make any noise at first. Don't make any vowel sounds. Don't say anything. Just breathe through your nose until that tightens up, or breathe through your nose and your mouth at the same time. What you'll know that you'll hear your breath when you release your breath. You'll hear your breath inside your head, your ears, your mouth, your nose. You'll hear everything inside your head instead of like outside. Because when people breathe, and especially when you're used to like the lower chest, you don't hear the breath inside your head. Again, if I'm like, "Hey, hello, my name is Bobby Short, and I'm 28 years old. I don't hear the breath inside my head when I breathe. I don't hear anything at all inside my head because I've got the lower chest voice." But when I'm Lauren Riley, and Bobby Short is never my name, I'm just using that name for an example. But when I'm Lauren Riley, I can hear the breath in my head. Of course, I'm always Lauren Riley because that's who I am. So when you breathe in through your nose and your mouth, you'll be able to hear the breath inside your head. So the next step is try doing the ha sound, breathe it in, like breathe it through your diaphragm and also tighten up your throat and go ha. Actually, let me show you kind of what the voice sounds like without the resonance. I'll see if I can still do it even though it's a little bit harder now. Ha, 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 ha. Hello, my name is Lauren Riley. I'm 25 years of age. How are you doing today? You see how my voice is like the pitch, but it still has like a bass quality to it, which did make these sounds stereotypically gay. Kind of, I know that I'm not doing it as bad as I used to be able to do it because I'm so used to doing it the right way that it's difficult for me to do it the wrong way again. But as you can see, even though I have the pitch of a female, it's still the bass line, or you can still feel the bass in the chest, and therefore I sound like a stereotypical gay guy. A little bit. But then when I'm all, hello, my name is Lauren Riley. I'm 34 years old at this point in my life. See, when I don't have the as much of a chest voice in there, then I sound, so you hear the difference between ha and ha. That's the difference. You want to get rid of that ha, that bass sound. Ha, he, he. This is the sound you want to get rid of. That's why tightening up your throat is important. Just don't overdo it and don't be afraid to, use your voice in full. It's a little bit hard at first because you're afraid to drop, and rightfully so. I was afraid too. But that's just the way that it is. It takes practice. It's not just practice because it takes, more than just practice. You gotta know all those little things. And so what you can do to help, I guess, feminize your voice further, if you wanted like the old school voices where like, back in the 60s when women used to, I guess speak at different pitches, even though again, in modern times, there's a lot of monotone women out there. But you can use like the Hartford sentences. This should be easy to find. If you type in Hartford sentences in Google, then you can find, certain clips of women speaking. I have a more androgynous sounding voice, so I don't really have like the most feminine, high. Don't worry about if your voice isn't high pitched or high resonated. It's just, as long as your resonance is there with the tuner and you've got the tightened, you know, stuff, all of that, you're doing okay. Just don't be like, hello, I'm Ben Stein, and dry red eye stuff. And then you'll do the Hartford sentence and be like, the birch canoe slid under the smooth planks. The birch canoe slid under the smooth planks. The birch canoe slid under the smooth planks. You'll do all that kind of stuff. And there's more sentences too. There's a whole list. There's like 80 or 90 to 100 sentences you can say. And sometimes with these recordings, it's hard to really pick out what they're trying to say because even those women aren't doing it exactly enunciating quite right either. But that's basically the thing of finding the female voice. It's not really hard, but it is time consuming, and you have to have patience with yourself. I know that everybody wants it now. I wanted it now back then. And but then again, luckily for me, before I did all of that before I started hormones. I did all of, the voice training. The first thing I did out of the gate when I trained, when I was first about transitioning, I did that for, a year and a half, 2 years before I did anything else. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying that's what I did. Because I was, I'm disabled. I didn't think I would pass that well or be seen as a gender that I wanted to be seen as. So I made sure my voice was top notch. And even then, even now, people with the female voice that I do have, people still say that I'm a guy sometimes over the phone. Very seldom, but people still do it because, some people's voices are just more feminine or more masculine than other ones. People are kind of that in-between range. I have, an androgynous voice where it's like it can kind of go either way. I sound kind of either way. You can paint this voice as male or female. It's kind of like that. Well, I can kind of tell. If you say you're female, then that's cool. If you're male, then that voice is also acceptable too. People have that. Just like Michael Jackson, he was a guy. People, said his voice sounded female, but guys can still have voices like that anyway. And just like you have people, such as like Whoopi Goldberg. Her voice isn't, stereotypically feminine. So that's just the way it is sometimes. But, just sing, play the notes on the piano or guitar or whatever instrument you want to use. Get the tuner, breathe to the diaphragm, strengthen that up. Use your falsetto to, help you strengthen your range too. And just allow your mouth to settle. Your throat will hurt when you're first starting out. It will hurt, no doubt. But once you keep using it over and over again, the more you can use it, if your family is cool with stuff and you can use it with them, then do so. Use it wherever you can, whenever possible, even if you sound like the stereotypical gay dude at first. I know that nobody wants to do that. But like I said, if you have to break it up in bits, don't do everything at once like I just showed you. Get the pitch first, then get everything else, then get the range, then get the resonance. I mean, resonance, I know that you want to use it out in public and you don't want to get beaten up, and I get that. But what I'm saying is just take an hour a day and just get the pitch and the pitch down first and get used to talking in that way, even if you don't sound per se resonance-wise that great. Just do it. And if there are any musicians out there watching this, even if you're not trans, you maybe just find this interesting, and maybe you're an actor, aspiring actor, actress, or something that wants to teach other people how to do a female voice for whatever reason. You don't have to be full time to do this. Although that does help. The more you practice it, the better it's going to be. And the more you don't go back and forth between your male voice and female voice, the better off it's going to be. But if you're an actor out there and you want to learn this, or if you're a comedian, you just want to do like, I guess, female impersonations, but you want to do like a realistic impersonation, then this is how you develop a female voice. Don't worry, you're not going to be stuck this way. I mean, I know that my male voice changed, but that's because I don't even use it barely, and I only do it to show people this stuff sometimes. And, as long as you don't use it 24/7, your voice won't go, your lowest range won't raise like mine did. I can't go back down to 120 or so. I can only go back to like 140, 145 or something like that. So if you're a comedian and you don't want to do the female voice part time, full time, you don't have to lose your male voice. If you just want to do that for a joke, or if you're telling a story and you want to be and have a female narrator and you don't have anybody else that can do it and you want to do it yourself, then go on, knock yourself out. This is how you do it. It'll take some practice, especially if you don't want, you're not full time, you don't want to go full time. It will take you longer to get this stuff down, but it's worth it in the end. It doesn't seem like it's worth it, but it's worth it. It's awesome. It's great to talk on the phone and people not say, hello, sir, even though I just hope that some people still do sometimes. But oh well, most people, perceive me as a woman over the phone. As far as the physical stuff, people still perceive me a good bit of the time in public as female too. But, sometimes people perceive this voice as both either male and female. It's okay. I have an androgynous voice. I accept that now. I can't be, my voice can't be more girly. That's just how it is, and I've accepted that stuff. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, keep pushing forward and stay epic.